What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. How you doing, bro?
Very good, Doma. Very good. Good to be back. 277 on the clock in a row, if you don't mind. We'll be raising the triple ton before you know it, Doma. Don't you worry about that. But it's been a big week in sports. There's been a bit of international football. Bit of international football, if you've seen, Doma. And
of course, I've seen
it. It's a mate. Look, this is for me, and I'm just going to say this, Doma. This is the most exciting time. This is the run up to the World Cup. World Cup is next year, as we know. It's probably my favorite event. I've never been to a World Cup, but at some point in my lifetime, I'd love to be able to attend the World Cup. That'd be probably on the bucket list. Don't know which one it's going to be, but international football is where it's at. It's just nothing beats international football for me. The world stage. And the run-up and the teams qualifying. We've obviously had Cape Verde. Did you see that? They've qualified for the World Cup from Africa. Unbelievable scenes there. And, look, it's been a big week. And this weekend, big race in the F1
big
as well.
Big race, so, big week of EPL as it returns. It's big everything this week. Everything's big. And we have had a big week, and the AFL trade period was just pandemonium, absolutely off its head. So we're going to run through most of the deals that have gone through. It's been psychotic, I think, to say the least.
All right.
Some people found new homes, some didn't find new homes, and you'd be happy Zach Merritt was one of those that didn't find a new home. So
Yep. We'll talk on it. I reckon we should run. You should go a speed. We'll run a speed through, and then we'll go back and talk on some important ones. So let's try to get through as many as we can. Everything. What's actually happened?
Campbell Chester to Carlton for pick 41. Ben Ainsworth, pick 67 to the Blues. Then we had Durden. He's been sent over to Port Adelaide from Carlton. Let me just fix this up. I don't know what the hell's going on. What else we got? There's pick swaps. We're not worried about that. We've got Tyler Young from the Tigers heading to West Coast. Will Brodie from Fremantle to Port Adelaide. Braden Fiorini, good pickup for the Dons from Gold Coast to the Bombers. Connor Butterick from the Suns to the Dogs. Changuth Jath over to the D's. Bit of speed. And this is where it actually got out of control, because this was, when was this posted? I'm pretty sure yesterday. This is where it just got absolutely out of control. So Jath goes to Melbourne. Then Jai Sarong goes to the Swans from the Hawks. The Moose, Finbar Maley, I didn't even know he was up on the trade table from North, but he's gone to Adelaide. He's gone from a team that needs goals to a team that doesn't find it hard to kick goals. So not sure what the thinking was behind that at North Melbourne, but anyway, whatever. Good luck to him. I actually like the guy, so I wish him all the best. Jamara Ugle-Hagan over to the Suns for a 4th round pick. That's just unbelievable. So he's gone over to the Suns. That's not the one I want. This is the one I want. Jack Bueller from the Swans over to the Pies. We had Patrick Retschko traded to Richmond. Obviously, this was a huge one. The track. Have a look at him joining the Brownlow medalist and your boy Noah Anderson at the Suns. Josh Simpkin is going to stay at North Melbourne. Jack Steele over to the D's. So they need to obviously bolster their midfield up a bit of leadership in that team. They've got a lot of young guns at the D's. So just get some more experience in the midfield. So Jack Steele over there. Clayton Oliver over to GWS, where he can party and go wild and have no one even bat an eyelid because he's in New South Wales and no one gives a flying you-know-what about the AFL. So he'll be able to just come and go, do what he wants, and become the most toxic player in the change room at GWS. Zach Merritt to stay. And of course, the biggest and baddest deal of them all was this one here. Charlie Curnow heading to Sydney with pick 31-42 in the 2027 second round pick for Will Hayward, pick 11 and a first round picks for the 26 and 27 AFL draft. So there he goes. That's the biggest one. Of course, Will Hayward joined the Blues. Pretty sure.
Oliver Florent also went to the Blues as well, which I think may have missed somewhere along the line.
I don't know if he was put in the deal.
No, I seen a post that he was there.
So I can make the call now on the Blues. I'm just going to be saying they'll be a lot better next year because they've genuinely recruited through the trade period. Yeah, I know they lost Durden, but they picked up Ollie Florent, who's a good footballer, Will Hayward, who's a good footballer, Campbell Chesser. They picked up Ben Ainsworth as well. I know they lose De Koning, they lose Curnow, but I reckon they'll be a better side. They get Jagger Smith actually coming into the team next year. They usually play better with one of their bigger forwards, so they've got Harry Mackay still. So I think they'll be okay. I think there could be an improvement. They'll have Sam Walsh from the start of the season as well, Source. So that's what you want. All right. Your thoughts?
A lot to unpack. We'll start right from the top. Curnow, obviously on the move, probably the biggest of the trade period. I don't know. They still got Logan McDonald. They still got Amadi there. Where they're going to fit all these bigs. I'm not sure. Maybe
Logan McDonald won't get a game.
Maybe they're going to play a different type of mold with the new guys that got in. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, as you mentioned, credit to obviously Carlton. They did recruit. They went after and got a few. They lost a few, but that's going to happen. So yeah, interesting for them. It's a now or never. Has to be for Voss and that group of players. They've got to try and make something now with the some of the guys that they've got there right into the peak of their career. So I think Carlton definitely had the most active trade period by most teams, as you'd see there. Then Merritt not going, good for the Dons, good result for the Dons. I think, Hawthorn, if they truly wanted him, they would have offered a much more, substantial plan. Like, have a look at Sydney. To get Curnow across the board, they had to, offer Florent, Hayward, who aren't, terrible players themselves, trading Florent to get more picks, to add to Hayward to get Curnow. That's what you needed to do. They didn't want to move players, Hawthorn. This is on Hawthorn. This isn't on Essendon. I feel like, offering the picks they're offering, Dom, like they're looking to finish top 6 in the next few years, the way their brand of football and the way the trajectory of their club's going after this year. Those picks don't really mean much. We're going to get picks that are going to be late first round picks. They're not going to be top 10 picks. So, at least offer someone, and I said, why wouldn't they offer Deer in return? All right, he's young, but at least he's young and he's got promise and you've seen he can play,
It's because his father played at the club. I'm pretty sure it was a father-son. But they could have offered anyone. Mitch Lewis. They could have put Mitch Lewis. Anyone.
Yeah, they could have put probably Mitch Lewis even in there. They didn't. The player they offered. No offense to him. He's in the AFL, so he's definitely. He's still a good footballer. Let's just not
3 games.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Tom.
You got 2 guys that I think have played. Well, they definitely both played over 50 games in Florent and Hayward from the Swans. Very experienced players, actually decent players. So, yeah, I was a bit shocked, to be honest. If you really
Anyway.
wanted him, and he was the guy to probably elevate you to the next level to win a flag. To be honest, he was the guy, Zach Merritt. But I think they missed on that one massively.
Look, he stays at the club. It's going to be an awkward situation,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, let's be honest, right? Someone made a valid point. I think who it was. Someone left the club. Oscar Allen left the club, and look at the compensation picks West Coast got. They were pretty good, and like we could just let him leave as a free agent and we're probably going to be bottom six. Tom, let's be realistic.
Yeah, you will.
If he leaves
again.
and that, right? So the compensation picks we'd get would probably be just about equal for what we would have. We needed a player. We needed a player with promise that has potential, young, 22 to 23, bit of a couple years in the system.
Could have even chucked Connor McDonald in there, and it probably would have got over the line.
I just feel like the player that they offered, the picks they offered, all right, you take the picks, but they just offer a bit better player with it that's maybe been in the system for 2 years or more, 3 years, and that's where the deal gets over the line. So I'm going to say it's on Hawthorn.
They had heaps of guys: Josh Ward, Connor McDonald, Mitch Lewis. I'm thinking you just part with them. Fuck.
This might sound harsh, but I'm a realist of my football club. If we want to talk A graders, superstar potential, Zach Merritt's the only one we've got, Dom. Let's not beat around the bush. He is the only actual A grader. And when we're talking A grader, we're talking an A grader who could potentially knock on the door of any other club and get a game in their first team.
Not knock on the door. He just walks straight in, Zach Merritt.
So I'm just saying, you can't give up light. You can't give up light. So,
if you really wanted him,
see you in, mate. Evening, boys.
If you really wanted him, you would have if you really wanted him, Hawthorn, you would have got him. So simple as that.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why Petrora was pretty pissed off in that footage that you saw up in the corporate suite there when he walked into the Hawks, because he's probably like, "What are you offering, mate? Like, do you want to get the deal done or like?" But the other thing too, Essendon said they weren't getting rid of him, and they stuck true to it too. Source. They said they weren't going to let him go. So you know what?
Clubs have got to start growing balls, mate. Because
I was going to say your club showed some balls.
That they can sign. He's happy to sign a 2-year contract when he's getting $950,000 plus a year, right? And take the money, but then he wants out 6 months later. Get out of here, man! Like you signed the deal knowing that, or else you could have left as a free agent. Why didn't you do that? You know what I mean? Just wanted to secure the bag.
Ben says Hawks were all chips in for Merritt and Miss Petrarca. Yeah, well, were they really all in for Merritt, Ben? Based on what we're saying, were they really all in? Hustwaite, that's the guy you offered up as a player. It's probably not the guy to get it over the line. You're a top 4 side. Hustwaite doesn't play any game time. You've got to give someone that starts in that 22. That's what you have to do. Because I tell you what, whoever you're giving from that 22, if they're like a average player and it gets it over the line, Zach Merritt is that player tenfold. Like if you give a McDonald or a Josh Ward, one of those guys, even a Weddle. I know Weddle's a good footballer. You could have even chucked in like Scrimshaw because you need defenders. You could have put any of those guys in. Hawthorn would have replaced them. Like, who are we kidding? They've got someone there that they're developing. They could put him straight into the team and made it work. But anyway, that's a missed opportunity for them. Obviously, the Kerno one was massive. And the other team that actually held strong and had some balls was North Melbourne. Obviously, with Simpkin, they did the same thing as what you did with Merritt. Collingwood offered, and we said no chance. But I do want to reiterate, as what I said, I think last week or the week before, or maybe I haven't said it on the podcast yet, but Brady Rawlings and Alistair Clarkson, based on the comments you made regarding our backline, and North said we weren't in line for any backmen because we have full faith in the back six at our football club that they will they'll be a part of this team in development and whatnot. Just put it this way: if you win 6 games again, you're both going to get sacked next year. Those are sacking phrases. You can't come out and back your defenders where they've done jack shit the whole year to then put the same result up the following season. You're losing your job. I'm just telling you straight out. You better hope to God you win 10 games next year, North, because Brady Rawlings and Alistair Clarkson, you better hope that you win 10 games because
I'll
you
be
are
honest
losing
with
your
you. I'm
job.
quite surprised you didn't go after a defender.
Buku Karmas, why are we not going in for Buku Karmas? Stephen May, Jake Lever, or Stephen May's toxic. I couldn't give a shit. Lever, May, Karmas. I would have even taken Liam Jones, who hasn't found whether we take him through a rookie draft or whatever. Liam Jones, Sam Frost. I would have taken these guys. Those all 5 of those guys are better than Griffin Logue and Aiden Cole. And you know what? It makes Aiden Cole and Griffin Logue have to fight for their spot. So that they should develop and become better footballers. We've got no depth. Like those guys go out, you've got to put like an Archer in. Archer's a good footballer, but he's small, undersized. You know, Luke McDonald, small, undersized. If you get these guys in, these key defenders, it gives you flexibility to say, you know what, maybe we'll play Sheasel off halfback for the whole year, or play McKercher off halfback for the whole year. Have elite ball users so he can rebound. But yeah. Nah, Ben, I think Parker should be captain of the football club. I've said it and I'll say it again. He should be captain. There's it's very far and few between players that have the mentality of a Luke Parker. Like, it's hard for Luke Parker as an experienced player to go up to like a Jai Simpkin, who's the captain of the football club, and say, this is how it's to be done. You know, you don't want to undermine the captain, but he should be the guy leading the club. So, yeah, it's a mentality thing, and he's got it. And he should be, if you're the captain, what you say goes, and people look up to what you're doing. Simpkin obviously can't be captain, because if you're wanting out of the football club as the captain, what's that saying to the rest of your playing group? So he needs to give that up, and he has to just try and put together some good football. But Luke Parker should be captain next year. Not Larky, not Cherry,
Good
not
experience
Sheasel.
guy. It's not a bad shout. I was having this conversation today with Mus.
With Mus, yeah. So, Sheasel's not a bad one to put as a vice captain. So, you know, he's there learning from Parker. I'm not sure about LDU as a captain, Vinny. He's too nice. Yeah, he's too nice. Even Sheasel, too nice. Nice guys.
No, you know what I say about that? I say about this, he's got enough pressure with his contract, because it's such a loaded contract. And when he plays bad, people give him shit. I'm getting paid too much money. He doesn't need the added pressure of the captaincy. He needs to just develop his game and develop into the gun footballer that we know he has inside of him. You know what I mean? So I think he doesn't need that pressure. You definitely don't give it to LDU. You allow him to develop and you know, fulfill his potential.
You know, Dry Simpkin Sauce, you know how he can turn around not just his season next year, but he can turn around his whole season. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're first time listening to this show, or you're not aware, he is my whipping boy at North Melbourne. But there's a guy, one of my favourite players in the AFL was in the premiership winning side this year. And I've been thinking about this. What can Jai Simpkin do? He doesn't want to play this role forward, doesn't want to do that. You know what we're lacking? And this is going to come to Jai, because you can't be soft if you're going to play this role. Because we tried to get James Rowbottom and it didn't work. We need a good defensive midfielder. So when you get back from Europe with your misso, Jai, because you've been posting stuff all over socials, I want you to sit down and type in Josh Dunkley highlights and try and turn into Josh Dunkley at North Melbourne. Because I'll guarantee you'll probably win our best and fairest if you do that.
And you won't be complaining about midfield minutes if you decide to play that role.
You will be in there. full time, mate. And you, with your skill and ability, if you could get that, add that facet to your game or become that player or develop into that player, you will be one of the, if not most valuable player in that midfield. Because it's proven if you have an elite defensive midfielder, it just opens up everything for your top talent. So Aldiu's life is made easier. Sheasel's life is made easier. Wardlaw's, like, we've got Wardlaw, but he's just a nutcase. He's not really a defensive midfielder. He's just a pitbull. So you need Jai. I'm just telling it because I do love you as much as you are my whipping boy. You were one of my favorite players at one point in time in our team, and you are still one of my favorite players. I'm just the hardest on you. I'm telling you, you can reshape your career, mate.
There you go, mate. There's the pep talk from us here at Double Coverage Jizer. You can do it, mate. You can come back and be loved by the North faithful. Don't worry.
I still love him, mate. I don't care that he wanted to leave.
Are you going to boo him?
No, I'm not a fucking idiot like every other moron that goes and boos everyone.
Someone asked me, would I boo Merritt? I said, no, I wouldn't boo Merritt.
Mate,
and then other Essendon supporters are saying I wouldn't boo Merritt. I'm like, are you an idiot?
Listen, Essendon supporters, you absolute lemons. All right, you know who you should be booing? Your fucking football club, not Zach Merritt. He's been your team. You change your CEO, so you really don't have any reason to boo anyone yet. But if you're going to boo anyone, boo Brad Scott, who hasn't been able to do jack crap with your team. You're going to boo the champion of your football club because he wanted to leave because you stink. He wanted to win a flag, so when he's driving around his Lamborghini Urus, it looks like it's worthwhile. Premiership player, Lamborghini Urus, it makes you look like you deserve your money at the moment. Anyway, that's it for the trade talk. That'll be pretty much it for the AFL up until the draft source. So
we'll go over the draft when that happens, and then
that's
about it. Till next season after the draft.
That's it. I'm going to smash through just this very quickly. We've got a race this week, the United States Grand Prix in the F1. 6 a.m. start, Circuit of the Americas. It's on Monday, 20th of October. And this is a big one. I wasn't able to put that full 50 bonus bet on Max Verstappen to become world champion. I had to split it. So you know what I did, Source? I hedged my bets. I had to be split, so I split it in half. $25 bets, gamble responsibly. I put 25 on Max at 750, and I put 25 on Lando at 350. Because I'm telling you, I just don't think Piastri is going to win it.
They're sabotaging him, he's thinking.
Oh, yep. It's going to piss me off, but...
Yeah. Don't say that, Doma.
Nah, it's not going to happen. It's going to be like Webber all over again. And Webber's his manager.
Oh, so they're going to dick him twice.
No,
Webber.
Yeah, he's going to dicked as a manager and dicked as a driver. Yeah, I'm just not confident. That's all I'm saying.
So what time's the race this Monday?
6 a.m. on Monday. It's going to be huge.
Big
and
race.
if you're watching the Man United game, I'm pretty sure that's 3:30 on Monday. It'll just roll straight into the F1. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's where you'll
Premier
find
League's
me.
back, is it?
Yes, it's back this week, Sauce. I'll throw it to you as we jump straight into Premier League.
Premier League's back, ladies and gentlemen. And as you know, we got you covered with the games. It kicks off this Saturday evening, 10:30 p.m. This is Australian Easter Daylight time.
It's a cracker time.
Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea, 10:30 p.m. And then you've got the 1 a.m. games on the Sunday morning. Brighton United, Burnley versus Leeds United, Crystal Palace against AFC Bournemouth, Manchester City against Everton, Sunderland versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then at 3:30 a.m. Fulham versus Arsenal. I will definitely not be staying up to watch that. And then Monday morning, you've got Tottenham versus Aston Villa at 12 a.m. And then you've got Liverpool against Manchester United at 2:30 a.m. And then Tuesday morning, West Ham against Brentford.
Ben says, has Ange won a game yet? No, he has not won a game.
We've talked about this, haven't we, Doma, on the show, and we think he's in danger of being sacked. If the results do not turn around, I think in the next 3 games, I think he might be sacked. This could be the shortest stint of all time.
I'm not saying anything. I've said it on the podcast already. You said we'll see how he goes in 2 years with his contract, and I said you'd be lucky if he even gotten out of this season. And I'll tell you what. Yeah, he's not. He's Anyway, we'll see how he goes, mate. He's not. It's just you don't want to. You just don't want to cop. I'm just trying to bite my tongue because you really don't like. You know what I really want to say, but because he's an Aussie and he's beloved and we love Ange and all this stuff. And if I tell you what I really think, you're gonna be like, you're all just gonna bag me and be like, you're hating on him, mate. You can't hate on something that's blatantly obvious right in front of your face. I'm not hating on anyone. Like I said, I just don't think he's built for the Premier League. He's built for the Scottish Premier League and every other Premier League, but he's not built for the Premier League, the English Premier League. That's all I'm saying. It's been pretty evident. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I think he has to. I've said this. I think he has to have a change of he has to change his tactics. He can't play Ange ball. He cannot play Ange ball at every team he goes to. He has to adapt his tactics. And I'm guessing if he actually wants to keep his job, he would have to change the way his football team sets up. But at the moment, it's not looking good. It is not looking good for Ange.
It would be around about 10 games, Ben. I know if Saucy said, he could be sacked in maybe if he does nothing in the next 4 games. I think it's like 12 or 13 in total by that stage. Anyway, they're the games this week, Sauce. And as you said, international break, just a few shout outs. All right, you know where I'm going with this. All right, I know they ended up drawing, which is all right. It doesn't really matter because this guy right here, this guy here, most qualifier goals of all time, 41. Scored twice, took him off, and then ended up tying Hungary. They took him off, and it was just downhill after that. Anyway, but the other thing, the most important thing, Saucy, the most important thing, Gattuso has come in, and the Italians, mate, they're second on the table. It's happy days so far. All right, I've got my fingers crossed, my toes crossed, my nuts crossed, everything's crossed, mate. So we can try and qualify for this World Cup. So we're sitting nice in second at the moment, but it's a playoff spot. So Norway, because Haaland's just kicking 100 million goals a game, has got their goal difference up to plus 26 Sauce. So yeah, we play them. We play them next. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
I've got it here.
Yeah, we're second in the table because we won 3-0. We beat Israel and pretty much cooked them with that win. But yeah,
so then that has to go through the qualifying round automatically. You only automatically qualify here.
Yeah, so Norway's going to make the World Cup. So Haaland will be at the World Cup.
Wow,
which is massive. But I don't think
it's massive.
Oh yeah, but I don't think they play 7 games. I think it's 8 games. So if Italy can win against Norway in their next game, and then hope that Norway somehow lose to Israel or Estonia, which I don't think will happen. But
here we go.
If it happened, they need to beat Moldova.
2 more games, and they've got Norway at home.
Well, they need Norway to lose. They need to beat Moldova, and they need Norway to lose whoever they play in the next round. It might be Israel.
I'll tell you right now. Decides to load.
I know it's Estonia.
No, they're not losing. They're not going to lose to them.
Haaland could kick another 5.
Look at this. They won 11-1 against Moldova. They've been kicking in goals for fun.
Yeah.
They beat Italy 3-0.
Yeah, but that was pre-Gattuso. I'm pretty sure.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
Maybe shit. You just need a fluke. You need somehow Estonia to beat them, or even draw, and then it'll take Italy to that game to decide who either makes the play-in or qualifies directly. So anyway, good luck to the Azzurri, mate. To the Azzurri. Hopefully they can do something. All right, I'm going to jump over to the NFL source, smash through this, and then get to you for the UFC because it was a fight night and it was an elite fight night. What a card.
It was a belter.
All right, here we go. We had Eagles losing to the Giants 34-17, and Jackson Dart put on an absolute clinic.
The Dart Master.
Dart Master, smoking darts. He's just got his bling on, his big diamond chain.
Oh no, it's hilarious. I've seen him.
Oh man, and his wide receiver.
He's pretty small. He's pretty small, but he's fast. He's nimble.
It was bloody hilarious. So they get a win. That's a massive win too at MetLife. Then the Broncos defeated the Jets 13-11. Rams smashed the Ravens 17-3. They got no Lamar Jackson. They're cooked. The Cowboys lose to the Panthers 30-27. The Colts continue their winning with Daniel Jones 31-27. They're 5-1. The Seahawks defeat the Jags 20-12. The Chargers defeat the Dolphins 29-27. Steelers over Browns 23-9. Patriots over Saints. Raiders over Titans. Buccaneers over San Francisco. So the Buccaneers have the same record as the Colts at 5-1. Then we had the Packers defeating the Bengals. The Lions getting beaten by the Chiefs. I'm not sure if you've seen the punch on post-game source in this match.
Was that with Juju?
I'm not sure, but the Lions, one of the Lions players just walked up to someone from the Chiefs and just cracked him straight in the face. Wearing the helmet. He was wearing the helmet, but he just cracked him straight in the face. Post-game, everyone was like on the field, what they do, shake hands and whatnot.
Yeah.
And he just walked over to him and just cracked him in the face, and it was just an all-in brawl. Straight all-in brawl. It was crazy. So, he got fined.
I'll have to go find the replay. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then we had the Bills losing to the Falcons 24-14, and then the Bears defeating the Commanders 25-24, and the buys were Texans and Vikings. Let's get to the Week 7 games. We've got Steelers, Bengals, Rams, Jags, Saints, Bears, Dolphins, Browns, Raiders, Chiefs, Eagles, Vikings, Panthers, Jets, Patriots, Titans, Giants, Broncos, Colts, Chargers, Packers, Cardinals, Commanders, Cowboys, Falcons, 49ers, Buccaneers, Lions, Texans, Seahawks, and the buys are the Ravens and the Bills.
Ravens.
It was the wide receiver from the Steelers. So Juju Smith-Schuster, who came from the Steelers. There you go. All right, so also over to you for some UFC.
UFC, ladies and gentlemen, fight night. Oliveira versus Gamrot from the weekend past. If you didn't see it, you missed out on one of the greatest fight nights. It was a great card for what was a free-to-air, non-pay-per-view event. It has to go down as one of the great cards that we've had this year for that format. Here it is. Charles Oliveira gets the submission in round 2 over Gamrot. Then you got Figueiredo defeating Montel Jackson with a split decision going to 3 rounds. Joel Alvarez defeats Vicente Luque with a decision over the 3 rounds. Jonta Diniz is defeated by Mario Pinto with a KO in the 2nd round. And Ricardo Ramos is defeated by Khan Offley, the Aussie. Gets the submission. Not sure if you've seen it, Dommy. Dommy jumped on the back, and he was pretty much just.
Oh no, I did see it
on his back, and the guy was walking around, trying to get him off his back, and he just couldn't get him off. And he just ended up getting him in a neck crank and submitting him. So congratulations, Offley, for getting the win, the Aussie. And then obviously there was the results on the prelims, but it was an absolute belter, ladies and gentlemen. Another Australian he unfortunately didn't get the win, Doma. Lucas Roca, the Brazilian, defeated the Australian Stuart Nickel. But nonetheless, it was a cracking card. Oliveira gets the win over Gamrot. Was just clinical, really. Dom, he got the submission, but he never really looked in danger in the fight. And
I think I heard it was the first time that Gamrot's been submitted in his career.
Yeah, he's a good grappler, Gamrot. Like he actually tried to take Oliveira to the ground, but like he initiated the grappling, which obviously Oliveira was happy to do. And as we seen, it didn't end well for Gamrot. So he's considered a good grappler, but Oliveira is just another level. There's very, very few guys that can grapple with Oliveira. Then we've got this weekend, I believe there is a fight night. DeRidder versus Allen on the 19th. Yes, this weekend. We've got the Renier DeRidder against Brendan Allen headlining a fight night. I'll just bring it up, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. And then we got Kevin Holland against Mike Mallet. Marlon Vera against Eamon Sahabi. Manon Furet versus Jasmine Yazodoviscus. Cody Gibson against Aurel Kui Ling. And Kyle Nielsen against Matt Fravola. Might as well just call him Favola. And that kicks off this weekend from 10 a.m. Sunday the 19th, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Check your local guides. That's the main card. And the prelims kicks off from 7 a.m. That's once again a free-to-air event. Obviously, if you got subscription TV. That's it, Doma. That rounds out UFC for another week.
Very nice.
What can I say?
Speaking of UFC, as we move into hobby talk, just quickly before we get into the piece de resistance of the hobby, which I know you got a bit to talk about, but here we go. UFC 2025 Tops Knockout. So you go. You got Dustin Poirier, 100 card, base set, autos. Here you go, Tom Aspinall. Very nice. Look at this, Wanderlei Silva. Some Legends auto source is always good.
Yeah, I like it. I like that they've gone back and got some Legends. Are these on card or are they sticker? They look like they might be on card.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks on card. Yep. Oh, look at this, Max Holloway. That's a 1-on-1 too. There's Shevchenko. There's some inserts, Mauricio Santos. And you know the best thing, you know what we love, the checklist is outsourced. So it's 8 cards per pack, 4 packs per box, 8 boxes per case. And it says here 3 autos and 1 mem per box. And you know what you love. Autos, when you have vets or legends of the octagon in a product, it's always good to just go through and see if there's anyone in here that might jump off the canvas. Oh, Lyoto Machida. It's very nice. Who else we got? Oh, your boy, Temba Gorimbo. Saucy.
Gorimbo.
Fearless Fighters. Benoit Saint Denis or Khabib. Ken Shamrock. Mark Coleman. Oh, very nice. Try to see anyone else in here.
Yeah, having a look.
Charles Sonnen. That's a good auto. Frank Mir. Junior Dos Santos. Yeah, there's some not bad fighters in here. Adesanya auto, which is nice. Oh, Shogun Hua. Very nice. Uriah Faber. One of the most underrated fighters on the planet, even that you know he's champion. He doesn't get as much love, but Alexandre Pantoja. Here it is. Alexander Volkanovski.
Volk.
Donald Cerrone.
I'm getting the itch to add another couple of Volks to the collection.
Michael Venom Page. I'm not sure if you've listened to the latest Joe Rogan podcast, the UFC ones that he does, but it was with Michael Venom Page. It is a cracker listening. So go and listen to that one.
I'll have to
Here you
go
go.
give it a listen.
Look at this one. Cardladder Tito Ortiz. That's nice. Triumphant Trios. There you go. Kamsa, Chimaev, Leon Edwards. Yeah, there's all types. Merab is in here. Dadishvili. John Jones autos. Yeah, pretty good.
George
Boy,
St. Pierre.
George St. Pierre,
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. It seems like it's a good product. What was the pricing?
What was the price point, Domo? Do we know that?
It's about round about. We'll say 300 to 430 a box. Let's open this up.
USD, I'm pretty sure that is. So they'll probably be close to
It is. It's about 500. 500 a box. There's a listing right there. It's about 500 a box. Not too bad sauce.
Not
might
bad
be
at
in
all.
the market.
Yeah, maybe.
Thanks, Adam. Superstar. Well, we've come to the piece de resistance sauce, and I know you were so excited when this got announced that you messaged me immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you LaPooPoo cards.
Dom.
Wait. Let's do a preview first. Before I get your take, before you say this is rubbish, that's what I'm expecting you to say. Let's have a look. You got this one. This is what it looks like. You got on-card autos. I'm assuming that's the artist, not the actual LaPooPoo itself signing the card. But there you go. Whatever this stuff is, you put your card in a whatever the F that is. And just the response. The Cherry Boss loves it. Rizzo Sports says he can't wait for Super Mario Topps cards. Mama Breaks, she's happy. Sports Card Investor, he's happy. Dr. Collectibles, who else we got? Layton's Sports Cards is huge. Daddy Dolphin, whoever that guy is. Who the F is that guy? And yeah, that's pretty much it. So good responses by a lot of big people in the hobby, and none are bigger than the great man Source. So this has got to be a lemon.
Dom, and listen here carefully, double coverage fam. I know we joke and we call it LaPooPoo, but I'm telling you right now, this is a buy. Buy a box. If you can get it for retail, don't obviously pay secondary market. If you can get it somehow retail or at reasonable price, buy the box, because people are going to be so hyped over it that if you can get it for retail, it's probably going to sell more in the secondary market, and you could probably sell the box for more.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout.
I just feel the way LaPooPoos have been hyped up, and I don't know how long they've been around for. I think they've been around for a few years. People, we're saying this, it could be another era of Beanie Baby. Although I think there's better motives of promotion by the LaPooPoo people, creators of LaPooPoo, and the way they create the hype around it. But I think enough hysteria will be there for this. I mean, I think people laughed at the SpongeBob cards, and the boxes have gone up, straight off market, right?
That is a valid point.
So I just, I could see these boxes. I don't know if we have whatever price point we get, if they're very similar to the, to the SpongeBob. Potentially, we're looking at anywhere between, say, 400 to 500 a box. I think they were, around 250 USD, 300 USD. So, whatever that evaluates to in conversion, I think it'd be worth it. Now, I'm not saying I'm into LaPooPoo cards, but it's always nice to buy a box and then sell it to someone else on eBay and pay for something else in the hobby. Maybe you buy another box that you prefer and you recycle the money and flip it over like that. I've done that a few times. with ETBs and other Pokemon cards, and I've got a few ETBs in the back here. So it's all part of mitigating part of the money that you buy stuff in your collection so that you can get stuff for cheaper. A lot of people do it through singles. Some people do it through boxes and singles and mixture of both. For me, it's whatever I feel like could potentially be an opportunity.
So you're saying this is a saucy smoky?
Well, it is. I'm not saying we're bringing back the saucy smoky, where I've, ladies and gentlemen, just say that was one of the greatest segments of all time. Gave away some of the greatest cards of all time, and at that point in the market, where hype and hysteria of cards was nuts. Let me just say, you probably could have thrown a dart at a dartboard the size of the freaking scoreboard at the MCG, and still,
well, unless you're
sports card investor.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Sports card
if you're Grift Wilson, then you probably missed on like 80% of your picks. So I don't know how that's possible. His dart flew out of the roof of the MCG.
I think the very first saucy smoky, and I may be recalling, is I think everyone at the time was buying Luka Doncic NBA hoops rookie cards, and I was like, why are we paying $50 for NBA hoops Luka Doncic? And this was back in 2020. It was at the start of this podcast, when everyone was buying base cards stupidly. And I said, why are we buying that when Kobe Bryant's $10 for his NBA hoops? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And I think I bought a shit ton of them, and I ended up selling a bunch of them and grading a few and whatever. And I did really well out of it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that was the very first smoky I gave on this podcast.
You gave a lot of good smokies, to be honest.
But it just, it whiffs of hype and hysteria. And hype and hysteria means that the boxes, and I'm not saying, be careful of retailers that might have these on pre-order. They might be pre-ordering it at an inflated market price for their pre-order. Just be careful, like you want to try and get this at the best price you can get it at. And yeah, if you can afford to buy a box, buy it and sit on it for a little bit, or buy it and maybe you might even see listings on eBay selling, before it's even released. The price might have gone up if the pre-orders sell out, or however it all works. But yeah, I just see this box being worth more than what you can buy it at retail for. So once it's released, I'm going to call it LaPooPoo, Doma, LaPooPoo, not LaPooPoo. I still think the whole toy LaPooPoo thing is a bit, I don't know. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Sold on the toys, but the toys have generated hysteria towards cards. Maybe the cards I would be, because it's more my thing. I just can't understand the toys. I'll just be honest with you. I can't understand the toys, Dom, because of Funkos. Funkos started so well, and then they overproduced, and then it became a point where Funkos, the collection for Funkos, you only really, there's still people that collect them, but really the only ones worth collecting are the exclusive ones.
Have a look at.
Your man in darts lit lays tops boxes with 200-300. I can't find one less than 2K now. There you go, Vinny. So that's what I'm saying. I just think when they release from Tops, they're going to be about $300 USD. I reckon these LaPooPoo things, if they're very similar to the pricing to the SpongeBob, which if you've seen the pricing of that, I think that was around, and don't have a go at me if I'm wrong, but I think it was around $300 to $400 USD a box. So I think if you can buy it at the sort of the price that Tops is offering it for, and not off a sort of a retailer that's offering it, if they don't have a direct distribution. If not, they do have distribution and they are sort of inflating the price. Try not to buy it for the inflated price of like 20% of what you'd be getting it for Tops. Try to get it for as close as you can to the Tops release price directly from their website, and it would be worth it. I just think it will be worth it. And Vinny, thanks for reminding me. I haven't had a look to see if I can buy any of these auto cards from that set. in a while.
Now, Sauce, I wanted to go back and bring up your first ever Saucy Smoky, but we started our upload on YouTube at around episode 12. So for some reason, the lost files of double coverage are episodes 1 to 11. So I'm not sure why they're not there, but show 12, Sauce. Have a look. This is in the heart of the lockdown. Have a look at this. What a disgrace. Look at this beard that I was rocking. Have a look at this. Look how young we were. That was 5 years ago. That was on. Yeah, 5 years ago.
There you go.
Bloody hell. Saucy Smoky. That's when we were on X. What a time. What a time it was, Sauce.
Well, I'm just saying, LaPooPoo, bye-bye. Get your hands on it if you can. I could be wrong. But I honestly, if I can buy a box for us that you get from Tops, I'm going to buy a box, ladies and gentlemen. Am I going to open the box? No, I'm not going to open the box. No, I'm not. Just making that clear. I'm going to buy the box. I'm going to keep it sealed.
That's it.
So, that's it.
On that note, bye-bye. Keep living, loving, and reading sports. Double coverage. I'm Dom with the Great Man Sauce. Peace out.
Peace out, ladies and gents. And we'll see you next week. Same time. Not maybe not, but we'll be here. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports. Double curve.